Hello, all my merrymakers. I am Becca, and welcome to the first All the Things Thursday of 2025. Woo! Wow. It is technically still the first for me, but this is going up on January 2nd. What? Oh, man. All right, for all my oldies but goodies, thanks for coming back. To any newbies, which I've got a couple, All the Things Thursday is my weekly check-in progress video where I show you all the things that I've worked on this week. And I also talk about any things that I plan on working next week. And that basically keeps me honest for the most part. Sometimes I say I'm going to work on something and then the ADHD kicks in, or I remember something I forgot and I work on something else. But I'm trying to be better about that. So I've basically got 3 projects that I want to talk about. The first one is the red, white, and blue blanket. If you've been with me for a little bit, you know I've been working on a red, white, and blue blanket for my roommate's son. I literally was up until 9 p.m., which you guys know, if you know, is late for me. It's like 8:20 right now, and I'm like fighting the sleep goblins, okay? But I did get it done. He now has it. I'm going to try and insert a photo. We'll see how that happens. Again, if you know me and technology don't exactly like jibe. I like to say that I am a boomer stuck in a millennial's body. And yes, I am a millennial, technically. Although I'm an elder millennial. I heard somebody do a stand-up on that, and it's like, yes, that is me. I'm an elder millennial. I will be 40 this year. What? Yeah, free mammograms all around. Woohoo! I actually had somebody say, 40 is when the fun starts. Like, I'm not sure about that, because I'm still responsible for 2 small children. Like, when my mom was 40, she had teenagers at least, instead of, 2... What is my hair doing? What is it doing? Sorry. Nope, you're gonna get the floop. I don't know why. It does not want to cooperate. Anyway, and, that was the 80s, so, it was obey or pay the consequences. Anyway, but it was really nice to see that young man's eyes light up when he saw that Afghan. I really hope I get the picture up, because that I did not start late on that. I didn't, I worked on it pretty much almost every chance I got, and it still was almost down to the wire on that thing. But it's done now. So a couple new things that I will be doing for this year. If you saw my video on Tuesday, you know that I don't do resolutions. If you didn't see that video, I highly recommend it. I'm going to try to also post that. Being very ambitious with the linking of videos and stuff like that. But that's part of my goals this year, is to be a little bit more active on the YouTubes and be a little bit more putting the links in. And hopefully, we can hit that 500 subscriber mark. And I can then, therefore, justify getting a P.O. box so that I can do more giveaways. So one of the things that I am doing, and I gotta grab my notes from over here so I can, I am going to be joining both Sharon from Another Yarn and Erin from Crafted Kitty, and I'm sure there are other people who are going to be joining us as well in Tackle It. Hashtag Tackle It. Now, hashtag Tackle It is basically you are trying to get rid of whips or UFOs. If you're new to the crochet communities, WIP stands for work in progress. UFO stands for unfinished object. Depending on the crafter, what they call each thing depends on the crafter. And I just realized I don't have what I want. Hold that thought. Going on a quick trip and I'll be right back.
Turnabout.
All right, so
Your turn.
the thing about Tackle It, I don't know what the other two are doing, but this is what I'm doing. I'm going to try to tell you, if I have a yarn with the ball band, I'm going to tell you who made the yarn, what's in the yarn, stuff like that, name of the pattern I'm using, the crochet hook that I'm using, all the good stuff. So for today, my Tackle It is this beauty, which I think I may have actually started in December of 23. Very beautiful. So let's start with the yarn. You may have seen, if you've been with me for a lot of my videos, you've seen me actually bring this yarn home. But this is from the Southwest Trading Company. This is their Oasis yarn, which it says it's 100% soy silk. Each skein is 100 grams and 240 yards. And it just says hand wash or dry clean. It is made in China. And it actually, I just noticed that it does have a website here, www.soysilk.com. And this colorway is 502. Now that says kanji. I call it candy because I've never heard of kanji. But if y'all have heard of kanji, let me know. Maybe it makes more sense. But the pattern is a crochet pattern. It is a pattern that I found on Ravelry. It is called Fern by Jan Power. It is a free pattern. And I am using a 4.5 millimeter hook. So this yarn, I actually bought I actually inherited this yarn, or the first couple skeins, and it was, well, what am I going to do with this? Came across the pattern. I said, oh, well, let's try it. Let's see. And it ended up being what I felt like was the perfect pattern for the yarn. And then someone said how much they really liked the colors, and they happened to be a really big supporter of mine, so I made a decision in my brain to give it to them for their birthday that year. Well, I didn't get it done. And thank goodness, because I never told them that I was going to get it to them for their birthday. And then it just kind of languished for a little while. And I forgot that the pattern is made of actual triple crochets, which is not normal for most patterns. Usually it's a double crochet, but it is indeed written for triple crochet, and that's not the English terms, that is the US terms. So I ended up tearing it out and restarting it. I am currently, I think, on the last row. Let me double check my counter over here. Yeah, I'm literally on my last row because the pattern says to do it for 8 repeats, and I have, let me see if I can show you this. I've done it for 8 repeats. I'm on the last row, and I've got 56 stitches. And when I try it on around my body, it wraps completely around my body. So I don't know if I'm gonna do the edging that it calls for, but I'm going to have leftover yarn, and I have 2 thoughts about that. One, I make a second fern because I really like the colors, but I might change up the way it's constructed just a little bit, because part of the pattern is that every so often you slip stitch 9 and it makes this kind of zigzaggy pattern. I think that if I make one for myself, I won't do that. So that's thought number 1. Thought number 2 is to give it away so that I can, because once I finish this one, it's no longer a UFO. And I'm not going to be able to cast, well, I can cast on a new project, but again, if you've been with me for any length of time, I'm trying to get rid of my whips, because I've got 2 big bins and at least 3 shelves worth of whips and UFOs. So I don't need to be casting anything on. And I don't know how much I want to hang on to this yarn until I make a second shawl. So there, that's project number 1, and then, or sorry, that's project number 2, and then project number 3. If you saw my video on Tuesday, I was working on this hat for my son. I would say I'm pretty close to finishing this. Again, I don't know what yarns these are because they don't have their yarn bands, and I'm not following a specific pattern. I went with what sounded right in my brain, and it's working out for the most part. And then the hook I'm using is a 5.5 millimeter hook. I'm also going to be taking part of Stash Down 2025, which means I'm going to be trying to take better notes about what I am making and when it's finished, when I finished, how much it weighs, and all the other jazz, kind of like what Sam from Mantha Makes does. And again, it's not a competition, it's just to see. I mean, when she did her numbers today, I think she said something like 20,000 yards. I was like, that is a lot of yarn. So yeah. Goals for this week. I am definitely going to finish Fern. Not tonight, because it's almost my bedtime, but most likely tomorrow. I am going to try to finish my son's hat very soon as well. And then the next project that I've got that's been on my needles that I need to get done is a baby blanket for a friend of mine that is pregnant and due in March. So, yeah, that's everything. So, but I might not start on that knitted blanket until after all the things Thursday next week. We'll see how this week goes. I'm trying to, again, focus more on getting projects done before I start another one. Trying, being the operative term. Now that's everything. If you liked this video, make sure you like it down below, especially if you're a subscriber and would like to stay subscribed. That way the evil YouTube overlords don't unsubscribe you from my channel against your will. Feel free to comment down below. If you're not subscribed to my channel, I've got a lot of yarning content, and if that's your job, make sure you hit subscribe. And to help this channel grow, make sure you share this video with everyone you know. In the meantime, make what makes you merry. Ciao.